So tell us a little bit about how you went out on a day and just everyone got naked, and how did it all play out?
Yeah, so Disiniblud, which is how it's you have to spell it differently for legal reasons, but the group is Disiniblud, which is kind of a collaborative project between Rachika Nair and Nina Keith, who are both like really great solo artists. And Nina had the idea of making a video that was just an all trans cast, an all trans crew, just going out in the woods and running naked. And it was sort of like a riff on the Faggots and Their Friends Between Revolutions, the Larry Mitchell manifesto. That was it was like from 1977. It's like this radical, like gay liberation manifesto that's kind of also like a fable. So it's really like, I don't know, like a fairy tale, literally. And so it was like riffing on that and a lot of Ryan McGinley's work especially with like Sigur Rós. And yeah, that was kind of where it came from. So yeah.
Amazing. And so then, Trygve, tell us a little bit about your project. Where did it generate from?
Yeah, it generates from a illustrated short story that I published on Instagram last year, and this was part of chapter 23. And the story is about a cat that lives on a border between Belarus and Poland. For years and years, and it's old, and it's got cat AIDS, and it's gonna die. And a refugee from Chechnya, Vlad, this musical artist, comes along, and the cat goes, why not sort of give it a go? So the cat follows Vlad into Europe and ends up in a village up in the north of Norway. And Vlad is the main character of the feature film that I'm working on right now.
So I guess I'll just go back.
Yeah, maybe, do you want the mic?
Yeah. Okay. I guess I have a suspicion it comes across so joyful and fun, but was it a little uncomfortable, like running around barefoot in the woods, or was it actually just totally joyful?
Like in the production itself.
The production, yeah.
Yeah, the production itself was like a dream come true. It was amazing. I mean, I hadn't been on set for some time. I'm mostly a narrative filmmaker, and so this was kind of my return to music videos, which is kind of how I started. And from the vantage point of like having transition, this is like the first time I was on set since like starting to transition. So I personally was in heaven, and the weather wasn't too bad. Like the cast was just a dream. Everybody was pretty happy. I mean, we took a lot of precautions to make sure everybody would be safe. It was a closed set. It was like on a ranch. Everybody had like little like sneakers to run with, so nobody was like really uncomfortable.
Nice.
So yeah, everybody was having a really, really fun time.
And did you shoot a lot of footage? And was it shot on film?
Yeah, it was 16. So the cinematographer is Ava Benjamin Shore, who's like my creative soulmate. We've been working together since high school. We went to film school together. We came out to each other. It was, we are like, peas in a pod. And so she shot it on 16, and we were using a lot of really interesting kind of practical filtration. We got like the run of like all these filters from Panavision when we were renting. We tried the like expensive ones, and it never looked right. And that hazy, gauzy kind of look when the sun is reflecting off of the lens, that was achieved actually. This was Ava's idea with Saran wrap over the lens.
Wow.
And so like sometimes that's like the best way to do it. Is like you can get all the bullshit from the rental house that they try to like pitch you, but sometimes you just need Saran wrap.
Yeah, you really achieved that 70s kind of diffuse, kind of like magical thing. Yeah. And what about, tell us a little bit about your production design was off the charts. Like, how did that all come together?
Yeah, a lot. The same, we had our DA, was it you? The DOP, Kato, brought a bunch of like lens filters to put on top. We ended up with my grandma's stockings on the lens, like super old school, because it just looks better and it's more fun, and you get this really funny, like when you see it big, this like fractions of lights, and so yeah, it's shot in the church. That's sort of it's not my nearest neighbor is the cemetery and then the church. I've shot there a few times, and they kind of like me. They haven't heard about my satanic past, so they let me shoot in there still. But yeah, so it's pretty simple. It's my music, and it's a couple of singers and a couple of actors. You see, nowhere, but kind of wanted to keep it under control. You know, it's such a thinking that, you know, if you have a simple idea, it's easier to become happy at the end, because there's less stuff that can. It's also easier to direct. It's easy. Everything's easier if you have a sort of a concept or two to stick to. So it's just the stockings and the snow, really. Oh, and the light. Yeah, so the light. It's like a crack of light, and that's sort of a metaphor and a visual landscape that I just gonna explore for years coming, and it's also bringing that into my my feature film that I'm working on. So metaphor for a lot of things, an escape, light. Thanks.
Okay, we have time for a few questions from the audience. Anyone want to jump in? Yes.
Was the face of the creature, was that hand? Or the face that kept showing up in your video?
The like. Oh yeah. Okay. So that is kind of Rachika and Nina's mascot. That's Grandma. Grandma graced us with her presence, which was great. So for their album cover, they were originally going to license this image that went around on Tumblr, a lot of Falkor from the Neverending Story, like the actual model of it rotting in like a basement of some, like, I don't know, wherever they're storing Falkor these days. But they decided to like create their own Falkor, their own like kind of creature. And so they built it for the album cover. And when I saw the album cover, I was like, well, we got to use it. And it was just in like a storage facility somewhere. So we U-hauled it out there to the woods out in Malibu. And just like we're filming them and had it light up from behind, and yeah, had everybody kind of like pray to it, you know, dance to it, you know, hail it. So.
Yeah, we just had one day of shooting, so it was very. And the thing you get with music, it's nice because it gives you that structure from the beginning. So it was super. It was all like split up, like these two lines into that camera over there, kind of. You know, there was a little bit of of fun to be had, but basically, yeah, it was all sort of decided, and I think that's. I like to work kind of like that, some improvisation and stuff, but not too much. And I edited this myself, and I kind of hate editing; it's the worst. So I just wanted to get it done. Well.
Oh, I love both of your films, but I had a question for High Season. Who did the makeup?
Yeah, so I did the makeup. Yeah, well, yeah. So the short story that you can look up on my webpage, into it, that cat I told you about, it's I'm in 23 version. There's like 23 self-portraits of me in a cat costume and that wig. So I had like 23 days of refining the just YouTube, you know. Yeah, it's fun. Makeup is just, it's painting. It's yeah. Thanks.
You were talking about how you mostly do narrative work, and this was a little different for you. And I was wondering if you could talk about what sort of narrative work you've been doing.
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I got my start in music videos, and I as a director, and also I edit a lot of music videos, like bigger music videos. But you know, my heart is in narrative film. I made a short. My most recent one is this film called Gussie that played the MoMA and like a bunch of Fantasia, a bunch of festivals. That was like a what was that? I mean, it's like, I don't know how to really describe it. It's like an experimental horror film about two boys who had been hunting a monster when they were kids. And then 20 years later, they're still searching. It was kind of like my riff on the Blair Witch Project, because that was what got me to start making movies, was the Blair Witch Project. Yeah, I don't know. Like sometimes it's sort of always like, I like to do like character dramas that have some sort of genre element that punctures it. You know, it's not like an elevated horror, but it's like, you know, something weird will puncture like a normal naturalistic drama. So yeah, I guess that's what I do.
I think we need to wrap up. Well, why don't you both tell us what your upcoming projects are?
Okay, so I kind of gave it away. So I'm writing my second screenplay a narrative feature this year, and it connects super directly into that situation in Chechnya that I mentioned there, which is like something in 2017 and it's something I saw in a documentary called Welcome to Chechnya from 2020, and it's produced by the same producer as Queendom that was screening here a couple of years back. Anyway, so that's sort of it's a journey for me to find out how this horrible sort of reality can sort of guide itself and my character and my sort of writing over the next months. I don't know where it's going to end, but that's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
And you also had you should mention your first feature, which played it. That's where I met you at Slam Dance a couple. Is that can people watch that? The Bitcoin car?
Good question. Yeah. So the Bitcoin car that premiered at Slam Dance in 2024 is actually now they just took it into the Slam Dance channel, which is amazing. There's about 40 or 50 amazing films there, so you can stream it there and watch that and the 49 other ones. Yeah.
I'd highly recommend it.
I'm so happy to have it there.
It's a really wild movie, yeah, and kind of somewhat similar aesthetic to this, I would say.
Yeah, it's
lighting.
A music-based thing.
Yeah. And what about you?
Yeah, well, I'm doing a few more music videos, but I don't know. I think the way that I build my career is I split in two, where I have my like respectable work, like the actual in the weeds of like Hollywood indie doing it the right way, and then I have my evil movies. So I'm developing like a bigger movie that's sort of like a relationship drama set on a rock climbing trip that we're gonna shoot in 3D. So if anybody wants to hit me up, it's like a blue Valentine out in the mountains. Any huge sports fanatics. But then my evil movie that I'm doing, which is going to be my first feature, is a movie called Biblically Accurate Angels, which is it's a romantic conspiratorial thriller about two trans girls who went to high school together, and they have kind of a lost Christmas weekend after they rediscover each other after transition, where they're like hooking up, smoking weed, playing video games, eating junk food, and kind of riffing with each other, doing like extended bits. And then through this escalating game of role play, they start planning a terrorist attack. So.
Wait, what's the evil part? No, I'm just kidding.
You'll see. I mean, that film is going to be kind of like the music video is. It's, you know, it's a lot about transness and a lot about watching and being watched, and kind of the gazes that are put on you and how you find your power against this oppressive bullshit that we're all living in. So
Nice. Well, thank you both for coming out and being part of this, and thank you for coming
so
to our
much.
screening.
Thank you.
Yeah.